Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. We have been covering the appeal styled as Richard Allen versus State of Indiana that has been proceeding in the Court of Appeals of Indiana. This is case number 25ACR591. It is an appeal from Carroll Circuit Court. Judge Francis Gull was the special judge appointed to preside over the trial court proceedings that ended at jury trial, with the jury finding Richard Allen guilty for the unalivings of two friends, Abby and Libby, in Delphi, Indiana, back in 2017. This case has been called the Delphi case. Thus far in the appeal, the principal acts that have occurred is that Mr. Allen filed a timely notice of appeal. There were enlargements granted on both sides. He filed the appellant brief, the brief where he is outlining areas of what he believes constitutes reversible error that should lead to a new trial, or he's saying his motion for a Franks hearing challenging the warrant affidavit was improperly denied by Judge Gull, and he would like the matter remanded for a Franks hearing. The state has now filed their response to Mr. Allen's appellant brief, and the first few pages, if you would like to read them, are located on our sister YouTube channel's community page. I've provided a link in the description to this podcast episode. Not surprisingly, and as we had expected, the state of Indiana is vigorously denying that anything was done to the point rising to the level of reversible error in the case below. And if you look at the table of contents, it provides a snapshot of what the arguments in response that the state of Indiana has raised in the appellee brief. For example, argument number 1, point of law number 1, they are stating the court properly admitted evidence found pursuant to a valid warrant search of Allen's house. And this is where Mr. Allen raised such points of law as that his Fourth Amendment privileges against illegal searches and seizures were violated when his home was searched by law enforcement. State of Indiana is disputing this, saying, no, there wasn't anything improper. There was no illegal search. The court properly admitted evidence found pursuant to a valid warrant search of Mr. Allen's house. And that argument begins on page 28 of this very lengthy brief. They're also saying Mr. Allen has not shown that probable cause for the search warrant was predicated on false statements or material admissions. And that's getting into the Franks area. Remember, a Franks hearing challenges the warrant affidavit. They're saying the affidavit did not contain any false statements, and they're also saying that material information defeating probable cause was not omitted from the affidavit. So their position is this affidavit was correct under the law. The next point that they're raising, argument number 2, the court properly admitted Mr. Allen's confession into the case. The second argument that begins at page 44 of this lengthy appellee brief, that coercive state action is a prerequisite to involuntariness under both constitutions, the state and the federal. They're saying here Mr. Allen's confession was not involuntary, it was voluntary. Allen's confessions were not caused by any allegedly coercive conduct. It was not forced, in other words, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this comes under the point that the court properly admitted his confession because his confessions were voluntary. Then, point number 3, the trial court made proper evidentiary rulings. The trial court properly excluded inadmissible evidence. And then they go into the investigatory sketch of Bridge Guy, which was a big point of this case. A photograph taken by one of the victims on the bridge. And there is another argument that the trial court properly denied Mr. Allen's motion. There should not be, therefore, any remanding for any motion such as a Frank's hearing. We're going to go into further detail regarding this appellee brief, so please stay tuned to future episodes of the Indie Zone. Thank you for joining us here today.